Where do vegans get their protein?
Hello! So here with our mate Tim Shieff. You may have heard of him, former world parkour champion, vegan prince and total hero. Tim, what do you reckon?
What's up, happy Pear?
So question always, I'm sure you're asked all the time, and me and Dave have been eating a vegan diet for probably about 15 years. And
14, I think.
Okay, 14 years, 3 months, 2 days and
But who's counting?
I don't know.
But one of the main questions people always ask us is, where do you get your protein?
I get that question a lot, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of like it's a myth that's kind of being perpetuated from our perspective anyway. So here's our few little
points around protein. So protein, I hear you ask, what's it for? Protein is used for growth and repair in the body. As a human, the time a human grows most is when it's a newborn baby. Newborn baby doubles its size in 6 months. I know my son became twice as big as he was in 6 months. He was fed nothing but breast milk. So you'd imagine the protein requirement for a newborn baby to double its size is massive. So how much protein, and what's the ideal food for a newborn baby?
Ideal food is breast milk, and it is 5 to 7% protein. It's hardly any. So at that point, you don't need any more than 5 to 7% protein in your diet as a growing adult. I'm not growing anymore. The World Health Organization recommends you don't need any more than 8%.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere between 5 and 8%.
5 and 8% in your diet.
And the typical Western diet, that generally people get between 15 and 30% protein. And protein is an inefficient energy source.
And even when you look at the animal kingdom, you look at gorillas, elephants, giraffes, even horses. They are big, strong animals. What's their diet? What's their diet consist of?
Greens, leaves.
Yeah. Leaves, grasses, greens. And even, I know my personal hero is the gorilla. Gorilla can bench press the car.
Really?
What a man!
And if it does eat any meat of any source, it's an insect that it happens to eat while eating a leaf.
Yeah, but it's not to say like plants are, people kind of have the idea that meat is the only source of protein. Chicken breast, meat. And then if it's not meat, it has to be lentils or nuts or this type of thing. But the reality is that everything contains protein in it, just in various different amounts. Like you were saying earlier.
Even watermelon is 7% protein.
Yeah, rice is I think 8% protein.
Broccoli's 40% protein, spinach 50%, asparagus 42% protein.
Wow, good stats, lads.
Yeah, rice around 25%.
Apples, everything, things that you'd never imagine of protein, everything does. So it's this kind of perpetual idea. And I think a brilliant question is, okay, here's one for you. Leave a comment below if we are wrong with this. But in my experience, I've never come across anyone or heard of anyone that's been hospitalised with a protein deficiency.
No.
Anyone?
Yeah, it's almost, Colin T. Campbell, who's one of the world's leading nutritional biochemists, he tried to come up with studies, someone eating a whole food plant-based diet or a vegan diet consisting of whole foods, could he possibly come up with a diet where people were not getting enough protein? And he found it impossible. That people had to be eating nothing but chocolate and crisps. And if they were, then possibly they could have a protein deficiency. But if someone who's eating any amount of fruit and vegetables, no.
So, okay, question for you, Tim, now. Do you reckon you can be ripped to bits on a vegan diet? Like shredded?
I've seen just as much evidence on a vegan diet as any other diet going.
Protein.
And plus, if you're eating a vegan diet, it's easier to stay trimmer. I know we got tested recently. Dave had a body fat of 6%.
We were part of this twin study. It was super interesting. A twin study where they were seeing the difference between nature versus nurture in terms of how it affected your metabolism and how you kind of developed and how you digested food. And they were going twins, identical twins versus non-identical twins, and seeing the differences. And they measured our body fat to see kind of how low we are or how high.
And the average male body fat is generally between 14 and 20%. Kind of around above 8% is kind of lean, and ultra lean is 5 to 8. Dave was measured, he was 6%, I was 7.9, and you were
7.9. Wow,
yeah, I was nearly the 8. Yeah. Ah, well, hey, still pretty low anyway. So if you are eating a whole food plant-based diet, you're going to be leaner because the fat content is lower.
Yeah, you'll just naturally be very lean, and it's not that we're trying to be lean, it's just by eating loads of plants and vegetables. It's just naturally.
Yeah, it's high carb diet, high carb intake. Every calorie is made of 3 different things: carbohydrates, fats, and protein. And I think most whole foods, when you eat whole food, plant-based, vegan, you're getting a lot of carbs, less protein, less fat, things that you don't need. The fats you find in nature are the fats you find in nature, though, you get avocados, coconuts, nuts. They're not that frequently. Most of what you find in nature is fruits and vegetables, which is high in carbohydrates, low in protein, low in fat. I think
low in calories, naturally low in calories.
The ratios given to you by them are more than what you need.
Yeah, absolutely.
So protein's made up of a series of chains of amino acids. And there's about 20 amino acids. 9 of them are essential amino acids, meaning you have to get them from your diet. Your body can't assimilate them, whereas the other, your body naturally makes them themselves.
And there used to be theory back in the 80s that as a vegetarian you had to kind of eat quinoa, a kidney bean, and a bit of a butter bean, and don't forget the walnut. And if you did this, you'd get a complete protein. But that's been totally disproven, that our bodies are highly sophisticated, that it can synthesize a protein from watermelon with one from rice and come together to get a full spectrum of amino acids.
Wow.
Yes!
Great one, Steve.
Thanks.
Great tip. Okay, dudes, any final closing comments on protein?
Protein, people always think when they say...
I was saying that to Tim. Okay, you go first.
Okay, I'll go.
Stevie.
You shoot.
Sorry, I'm excited and inspired. But protein, when people think protein, they think meat. And yes, meat is a wonderful source of protein. It is a full spectrum of amino acids. The problem is that it has no fibre, it's low in antioxidants, it's high in cholesterol, it's high in saturated fat. But if you like meat, that's totally cool, whatever it is for you. But we're just trying to say that the vegetable kingdom, you can get equal protein sources and that it's full of fibre, it's full of antioxidants, there's a lot of good stuff and it's lower in fat.
Wow. Brilliant. Even if you think of Ireland, like we live in Ireland, full of the biggest animals in Ireland are cows and horses, huge big things. And all they eat is grass. They eat grass all day, so really low in calories, high in fibre, and packed full of proteins to sustain their huge muscle mass. Anyway, just to summarise, give us an L like if you're into protein. We just say protein in general, yeah?
Yeah.
You're into protein, yeah!
I'm into carbs, man.
Into carbs. But I guess just in summary, plants are full of protein, grade A protein, lean, green.
Eat your vegetables!
Yeah, in summary, eat your vegetables and whole foods.
Bye!
Check Tim out, Livewire. Tim, parkour, vegan, power, cool dude.
The man.
Yes!